Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is the final match, the championship match, here at the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Montreal versus Quebec. As you can see on your screen here, Montreal in red, Quebec in blue. These two teams were easily the two best of the tournament, and now they rightfully in the final. This is a chance for revenge for Quebec. How they're to determine the win. We have a lot of athletes, both of ball, and they're trying to stop Gagne. Trying to make his 1 minute gone by here in period. Again, it's the championship match of the 2017 Kennebunk Rampage. Letourneau. Mustine. The pass long down the floor right into Simard. Nice pass. Rassicote tries to bump Simard. Rassicote trying to bump Simard off balance. But Simard scores. It is now 3-2. Quebec lead Montreal. Macias, the long pass to Rassicote. And we are level at 3. And these two teams are just going to go back and forth, trading blows. Again, these two teams, if you've watched our coverage throughout the weekend, the top two teams throughout this competition. Mustine now trying to weave his way through the pass to Samad. Patrice Samad stopped by Rassicote, but the pass over to Mustine. Mustine loses the ball. And now Montreal with an opportunity to take their first lead of the match. Rassicote into Macias. Mustine both chasing for the ball. And Letourneau tried to get to it beforehand. He couldn't, so there's no point. Let's see what happens here. We're going to get a timeout. We're still level at 3 here. Mustine just getting his wheels put back on. So now Gagne into Mustine. Steve Mustine tries to get behind Macias. The pass over to Gagne. And Gagne scores a point. It is now 4-3. Letourneau almost got that one, but Quebec will retain possession. Gagne trying to work his way around the Montreal defenders, passes off to Mustine. Patrice Samad now for Quebec, trying to even up this game. Mustine over the line for a point. We are level at 5. So Yannick Rassicolt for Montreal into Anthony Letourneau. Letourneau working his way around, trying to get around Simard. Gagne trying to pick him off, but Letourneau too fast and a little too wily there. Just sneaks his way through. 6-5, Montreal lead. Mastin using Gagne to get himself through. Mastin makes his way past the Montreal defense. We're all level at 6. Macias passing over to Letourneau, but that bounces off his chair. Quebec with the ball. We're going to get substitutions now for both sides coming into the match for Quebec. Number 10, Guillaume Bouchard. Number 11, Charles Arsenault. And for Montreal, making his debut in this match, number 22, Jonathan Asselin. Arsenault to Bouchard. Lassicote tried to push him out of bounds, and now there's a fight for the ball, but Arsenault comes away with it. Arsenault for Quebec, trying to work his way around the Montreal defenders. The pass to Simard. Patrice Simard out racing Asselin, and he goes over the line for another point, and Montreal regain the lead. 7-6 the score. Letourneau takes that pass and ties it up at 7. 3 minutes left to go here in the first period. Both teams trading blows back and forth. Simard gets his way around Rassicote. Macias tries to stop Simard, but Mastin is there to take the pass. Montreal back up 8-7. Letourneau works his way around Mastin. Now, we've seen Mastin's speed this weekend, but Letourneau just a little bit faster there. Mastin now for Quebec. Simard with the ball. Rassicote going to try to make Simard work for it, but he still earns the point. Letourneau takes the pass. And again, these teams are just trading back and forth. Just the speed of some of these players out here makes it kind of hard to defend sometimes. So really, when you're playing at this kind of pace, you really just kind of want to just try to force turnovers. Simard over the line. Rassicote to Letourneau. Letourneau back to Rassicote. Rassicote is going to race toward the line, and Mastin just kind of throws him off his path a little bit, but it's not enough to stop him. We are level at 10, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes left to go in this first period. It's been a good match so far. Simard passes off to Arsenault. Rassicote chasing. Macias. Oh, Macias could not handle that ball, and he went off the court. And those are the type of errors that Quebec want to take advantage of. They have a 1-point lead at the moment, 1:45 left to go in the first period. Still lots of time in this match, but again, with as close as these two teams are playing, any little turnover can prove to be the difference in these matches. So there was a timeout called on the floor. And so I believe that Quebec will retain possession of the ball. 1:40 left to go in the first period. And while we have a break in the action, I want to take a moment to thank everybody once again for watching this live stream this weekend for ParaSportsLive. This is our very first live streaming event. We look forward to many more in the future. And we hope that, again, you have enjoyed the coverage. We also want to take a moment to thank everybody who supported and shared our GoFundMe campaign, because without all of you, we wouldn't be doing this right now. So from us to all of you, thank you very much for your support. Charles Arsenault now for Quebec. Loses the ball, and he tries to shovel it over to Samad. He knew he wasn't going to hold on to it, and so he tried to get it over to Samad. But that is a turnover, and Quebec wastes an opportunity to extend their lead. And now Montreal with a chance to bring the game level once again. Letourneau racing, getting behind Mastin. And we are tied at 11. Mastin, Rossicote coming in like a missile, and they collide, a heavy collision, but Guillaume Bouchard takes the pass, scores a point. Quebec back in the lead, 12-11. Letourneau stopped by Arsenault. Rossicote over the line. 56 seconds left in this first period. Mastin, the long pass to Samad. And Patrice Samad easily handles that one. And these two teams right now equally matched, like skilled fighters in the ring, trading blows back and forth. 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Quebec up by 1, 13-12. And Letourneau holding on to the ball, trying to score the final point of this period. Ten seconds. Letourneau makes his move. Letourneau trying to push through. Is Quebec going to stop him? And there's Macias. Can Macias get over the line? Macias over the line with 0.7 seconds left. And that's pretty much how Montreal probably wanted to draw that one up. Didn't leave any time left on the clock, and well executed. And so at the end of the first period, the top two teams of this competition are tied. It is 13-all. We're going to go to break. When we come back, the second period, you're watching the championship match at the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. And we return for the second period of this championship match here at the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And Montreal going to take the ball here to start the second period. If you're just joining us, we are tied at 13. And we have a change in the lineups for both sides into the match for Montreal. Number 5, Melanie Lebel. And for Quebec, number 52, Yannicka Lacoste. And there's a turnover for Montreal. So Quebec will take the ball. Gagne looking for an open teammate. Lacoste is it. Yannicka Lacoste gets bumped around and she calls timeout. So they're going to gather up for just a moment. Great action here in this match, and it's pretty safe to say, I think, that the competition in this final match has pretty much lived up to its billing. We knew the game was going to be close, and these teams, again, have just been trading points back and forth. So Gagne will start up the action again for Quebec. Mastin being hassled by Rassicote. Mastin almost loses the ball. Macias almost took it away. Mastin looking for a teammate. Gagne's there, but nice move by Letourneau to take it away. And we're going to get an illegal use of hands. Dave Gagne going into the penalty area. And now Montreal with an odd man advantage to Macias. And Alexis Macias breaks the tie. Montreal now 14, Quebec 13. Oh, Mastin gets the ball stripped away, but they're going to retain possession. Macias, the last to touch that ball. It is Quebec ball. Gagne. No, it will be Simard to throw in for Quebec. Yannicka Lacoste passes back to Simard. Let's see, Simard stuck, jammed up. Now he frees himself, and he passes down the floor to Gagne. Gagne, can he catch it? No, he loses the ball, and Macias is there. And Mastin rams right into Macias, but that is a jump ball, possession arrow pointing towards Quebec. And Gagne, his inability to corral the ball allowed Macias to drive in and prevent him from scoring. So Gagne now will back up. Lacoste loses the ball, but it goes to Gagne, and Letourneau crashes into Gagne. The ball's stripped. Now Gagne has to get it back up into his lap, and he does. Mastin now for Quebec. Being blocked by Rassicote. Simard trying to block off Rassicote, and he does. Nicely done. Mastin trying to push his way through, but Letourneau and Macias stop him. Mastin passes over to Simard, who scores for Quebec. Once again, level at 14 apiece. Macias takes the ball from Rassicote. 15-14, Montreal in the lead. Mustine trying to get around Rassicolt. Rassicolt very quick, but Mustine just a little bit more pace. The pass to Simard, nicely done. And we are tied once again. Macias taking the ball, passing it back to Rassicolt. And neither team has really been able to truly take control of this match yet. I mean, as you can see here, the difference is only one so far. Now, Lacoste in trouble there. Rassicolt fouling Lacoste. And so Yannick Rassicolt will come into the penalty area for a moment. In Quebec now with an opportunity to bring the game level. And Mustine will just take his time. So now Rassicolt will take the ball again. And you can hear players yelling instructions to each other. Macias is going to be the one to take this. Macias almost flipped over, hooked by Gagne. And Macias has to call timeout. We're tied at 16, 5:45 left to go in the first half. And with the way this match is going, it's going to come down to the wire. So we're going to take a quick pause in the action. While we do, just want to say it's been a great honor to be able to cover this tournament. Thankful to the folks at Northeast Passage for allowing us this opportunity to get our first webcast under our belt. So thank you once again. We are back in action. Alexis Macias for Montreal. Taking the ball down the floor. Montreal back in the lead. Mustine with the ball for Quebec, being blocked off by Macias and Rassicolt, but Mustine now down the floor he goes. A huge collision here at center court. Simard takes the ball, scores a point, and it looks like we're going to have another pause in the action as Mustine has a popped tire, or maybe it came off the axle a little bit. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Mustine just needs his wheel readjusted there. There's a pretty big collision he endured here at center court, but he seems to be back in order again. So Rassicolt to Macias. Alexis Macias. Simard, nicely done by Patrice Simard. Oh, and Letourneau almost lost that handoff. Now Rassicolt for Montreal. Scores another point. Simard can't get past Letourneau. Lebel comes in to double team Simard. Mustine takes the ball. And now a loose ball, and who will get possession? Quebec, says the official. Simard, Patrice Simard working his way around. And Mastin for Quebec ties the game again at 18. Macias stopped by Lacoste and Gagne. And Montreal forced to call another timeout. And we've seen this from Quebec all weekend long. Their defense has really been a really huge weapon for them this weekend, forcing teams to call timeouts, forcing teams into turnovers from 10-second and 12-second violations. They've done an excellent job preventing the other team from moving the ball across the court. So we have 4:29 left to go in the half. Players are going to their benches to get a little water real quick. And Lassicote will take the throw in for Montreal. Asselan back into the match for Montreal. Macias over to Lassicote. Lacoste and Lassicote saying hello. And Gagne now for Quebec will throw in. He doesn't really have very many options at the moment. Mastin breaks free. Mastin down the floor. Letourneau decides to let him go. He wasn't going to get there in time. We're level at 19. And we have an equipment timeout here. Simard lost his strap. You can see here it's dragging on the floor. So we have a stoppage in play. It's actually the covering for the crossbar on the back of his chair that came off. So the trainer just going to Velcro it back together, and we will get started once again. Letourneau gets around Gagne, and Letourneau heads down the floor. Letourneau, a huge collision between Mastin and Letourneau, but Letourneau passes the ball off to Macias, and Montreal up 20-19. Mastin almost had the ball ripped away by Letourneau. And another collision here at center court. Lassicote, Mastin. Mastin passes the ball to Simard. And the match, once again, level at 20. And that pass to Lassicote. Referee says he got it in time. That was close. So Montreal back up again, 21-20 the score. And Mastin hooked by Lassicote, and he calls timeout with the ball in his possession before he goes over the line. And Quebec going to make a couple substitutions. Alcino coming back in. Bouchard also coming back in. .319 left to go here in the half. So let's see who stays on the floor for Quebec. Gagne and Lacoste have come out of the match. Alcino and Bouchard have come on. So Charles Arsenault passes into Mastin. Quebec looking to even the match back up, and they will. Arsenault puts up number 21 for Quebec. So once again, neither team able to really break free and establish any kind of real lead here, as Rassicourt takes the ball down the floor. Macias does well to block off Arsenault. (22-21) the score. Mastin looking to even it up right now. We are tied at 22. Rassicourt over the line. Simard trying to weave his way through. He's going to have to call timeout. He's not going to get over the line in 12 seconds. So Quebec will take the ball from the sideline. And it looks like the players are going to need another water break. They've been playing hard all weekend long, and as I said earlier, we are upstairs in the Hamill Recreation Center, and it does get a little bit hot up here sometimes. So some of these players have a little bit of difficulty regulating their body temperature, so they need to make sure that they're constantly staying cool, whether it be in front of one of these huge fans that we have in here in the venue, or the spray bottles that all these benches have on their sidelines there. So Mastin reaches for the ball, but it is taken away by Montreal. Nicely done. Alexis Macias disrupting Mastin, and so now Anthony Letourneau for Montreal. And this is the first opportunity for Montreal to pull ahead a little bit further. They're up by 1 right now. Can they double that lead? .145 left to go in the first half. Rassicourt has the ball. Mastin tries to strip it away. And we're going to get a foul. It looked like Arsenault left the court. So Arsenault will indeed come into the penalty area. Montreal trying to increase their lead. They're currently up by 1. Oh, and there is a wasted opportunity. Montreal with a shorthanded advantage. An opportunity to tie the game back up. Arsenault is still in the penalty area. Samad trying to break free, and Bouchard just pops that ball into play, and Letourneau will take it. And Letourneau crashes through. Montreal now up 24-22. Arsenault passes to Samad. Samad to Mastin. Steve Mastin will go in. Quebec down by 1. Rassicourt over to Le Tourneau. Now Yannick Racicot gets the ball back in the long pass over to Macias. And Montreal will go back up by 2. 55 seconds. 56 seconds. Left in this first half. Osino crashes into Macias. Samad backing up to try to prevent from getting pushed over that center line. Nicely done, Patrice Samad. Over to Mastin. Racicot turns Mastin. Nice strip by Racicot. And now he's going to race for the ball. Can he catch it before it goes out of bounds? He does, but he can't control it. Le Tourneau picks it up for Montreal. Nicely done. Good play by Racicot. And now Le Tourneau with the ball. 18 seconds to go in the first half. He's holding on, hoping that his team can score one final point before the end of the half. 8 seconds to go. Macias looking to pass. Racicot. Can Racicot get over the line? Yes, he can. 1 second left on the clock. Great execution by Montreal, and that whole sequence started by great defense from Yannick Racicot. Fantastic play. So we have played 16 minutes. We are going to get a break. When we come back, the final 16 minutes of the 2016 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second half is about to begin. It's the championship match here from the Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage for ParaSportsLive. I'm Tony Jackson, and Montreal have gone out to a 3-point lead. It is 26-23 in favor of the team in red. So, to start this third period, Montreal will get the ball. Letourneau for Montreal. Racing down the floor, Mastin giving chase. Mastin crashes into Letourneau and stops him. But his teammate, Asselin, is there to stop Mastin and allow him to score. (26-23) the score right now. Letourneau over the line. (28-24) the score. Simard takes the ball over the line. (28-25) the score. Lassicolt will throw into Letourneau, who uses his speed well, but he's not going to be able to outrace Mastin, who almost flipped over. Oh, and there is mishandled ball by Mastin, but he's able to pick it up. Mastin over to Simard, being defended by Letourneau. Simard, the long pass to Gagne. Gagne cannot pick it up, and Lassicolt and Lebel double team Gagne, and now there's a fight for the ball, and the referee is going to call a jump ball, the possession arrow in favor of Quebec. Mastin will take the ball and score for Quebec. 29-26. Our score. Lassicolt for Montreal. Just kind of weaving his way through. Mastin using Lebel as a decoy, gets around Mastin, or excuse me, gets around Lassicolt. Mastin now for Quebec. Gagne looking to Mastin. Samad with the ball and a point. 30-27 the score. 6 minutes remain here in this third period. Letourneau breaks through. Mastine hits him and kind of knocks him off a little bit, but Mastine probably took the worst of that one as he was left spinning at the center circle. Letourneau scores. Montreal 31, Quebec 27. Samad reaches back and grabs that pass from Mastine. And again, they're just trading blows back and forth. Samad racing down the floor, slams into Lassie Colt. Mastine couldn't handle that ball, and another turnover for Quebec. Montreal now with an opportunity to extend their lead to 5. And that's really been the difference for Montreal this weekend, is that they haven't really made too many unforced errors. And for them, they're able to take advantage of situations when the other team does make those errors. But we're going to get a foul on Mastine, who's going to go into the penalty area for an illegal use of hands. Letourneau looking to increase the Montreal lead to 5. Letourneau brings the point tally for Montreal to 35. Simard now heading down the floor. Patrice Simard will score for Quebec. Lassie Colt over to Macias. Macias looking to pass, and then he has to call a timeout. He was looking for Lassie Colt, but he couldn't locate him, so Macias has to call timeout. So with every timeout, players head back to their benches to cool down a little bit, get some water. Two teams undoubtedly familiar with each other, as I'm sure they play each other all the time back in Canada. Lassie Colt with the throw into Macias. Macias, the long pass back to Lassie Colt. And he's just going to hold up for a few moments and just drain a couple precious seconds off the clock. Mastine moving down the floor, and a huge collision, and Mastine goes tumbling over. Montreal came in and converged on him and sent him to the floor. Wheelchair rugby can be quite a violent sport sometimes. Lots of heavy collisions that happen. Sometimes the players go over, but he looks like he's okay. Trainer's just making sure his wheels are on, and Mustaine looks like he's good to go. A little show of respect between the two players. And Montreal with the ball. Alexi Macias just working his way around. Nicely done by Lebel to kind of shield off the Quebec defender. 37-31 the score, and Montreal starting to now establish that dominance that they were probably looking to establish earlier. They're up by 6 at the moment. Simad brings that lead back down to 5. Macias, the pass to Rassicourt. (38-32) the score. 2:28 left to go in this third period. Bouchard passes off to Arsenault. And he loses the ball out of bounds. And Montreal with an opportunity to increase their lead once again. Rassicourt with the ball. Mustaine going to try to stop him from scoring. He does, but Alexi Macias right there for Montreal. The score now 39-32, and the lead for Montreal is 7. And Simad almost taken off there by Letourneau, but he has the ball and he's going to try to work his way down the floor. Certainly doesn't want to give Montreal any more opportunities to score without his team scoring first. And they do that right there. 39-33. 1:40 left to go in the third period. Alexi Macias for Montreal. The pass over to Letourneau. Mustaine working his way around the Montreal defense. I also know is going to carve out a little space for him to slide through and score. 40-34. Macias now passes to Rassicourt. Bouchard going to try to stop Rassicourt, but he's nowhere near fast enough. One minute left to go here in the third period. Montreal leading 41-34. And Bouchard, Arsenault loses the ball. Letourneau picks it up. And Montreal increasing their lead once again. It is now 42-34. Mustaine trying to outrace Letourneau. He does, and he slams into Rassicourt. Simad, oh, that ball bounces off the front of his chair. So Montreal starting to really pull away here. And as I said at the top of this match, Montreal had won yesterday 48-41. This was an opportunity for Quebec to exact revenge for yesterday's loss, but right now Montreal in control. Le Tourneau making his way around. And that's no goal. That's going to be a throw-in for Montreal. Patrice Samad is going to head to the penalty area with 7.2 seconds left. Le Tourneau, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Is he going to be able to score? 2 seconds, 1 second. And he got over the line just in time. The score as we end the third period, 43-34. Montreal lead Quebec. We're going to go to break. When we come back, the fourth and final period here from the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. And we have returned for the final 8 minutes of this 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And Montreal firmly in the lead right now. Before we ended the third period, it looked like Montreal had scored, but the score is 42-34. So Montreal now looking to make it 43. And now the scoreboard has been changed over to 43. So that point to end the third period did count. And so now it should be 44-34. Let's see what the official scoreboard says. It is indeed 44-34. So there is a pass to Gagne, but and it looks like Le Tourneau is going to need a tire change. No, let's see here. Trainer's coming out without a tire. It's not even him. Macias is having some issues with his wheel over here. Macias being blocked off by Simad. Asalan comes in to help his teammate out. Alexi Macias now getting around Simad. Mastin tries to block, but Racicot is there to take the pass from Macias, and Racicot is just going to hold on to the ball and just run out the clock here. Montreal already up by 10, so they're just trying to kill some of this clock down, and that is point number 45 for Montreal. Simad passes to Mastin. Mastin, and that is going to be a 12-second violation on Quebec. And Montreal looking to really pull away here now. Racicot into Le Tourneau. Le Tourneau back to Racicot. Macias with the ball for Montreal. Stopped by Mastin and Simad. And we're going to get a foul on Patrice Simad, an illegal use of hands. Macias passes over to Le Tourneau. And he's just going to drain a couple extra seconds off the clock. And so now Simad coming back into the match. He will throw the ball in. And Simad will take the ball over the line. Racicot, and there is a ball that was mishandled but recovered by Macias. He gets hooked, but he passes over to Asalan, who manages to grab onto the ball. He's going to take it over the line. Point number 47 for Montreal. Six minutes left to go in this match. Montreal with a very comfortable 12-point lead. Mastin, and a huge collision as some folks congregate over there by the Quebec bench. Simad now with the ball, passes over to Gagne. 47-36 the score. Le Tourneau holds. Gagne forces the issue. It's 48-36. Simad, Racicot race, and nicely done by Yannick Racicot, but Simad gets the ball back. Mastin now for Quebec. Picks it up. Five minutes remain in the match. Simad scores for Quebec. Mastin tried to hold off Le Tourneau, but his momentum carried him over the line. 49-37 the score. Simad almost lost that ball, but he managed to gain control. Simad looking for Mastin, but the ball is knocked loose. Racicot picks it up, and a goal for Montreal again. Another error on the part of Quebec gives Montreal their 50th point of the match. They lead 50-37. And it's kind of interesting to see this match and whether or not Quebec will be able to cut this lead down a little bit. It's highly unlikely that they're going to come back and win this match at this point, but they only lost by 7 yesterday. They're down by 13 right now. We'll see if they can kind of make a game of this, if you will. But with 4.5 minutes to go, and some of the errors that they've made in this match, I'm not quite sure that they're going to be able to climb back very far. But to Montreal's credit, however, they've been playing excellent defense throughout this competition. They have kept the mistakes to a minimum. And that's why they find themselves with such a huge lead right now. So the teams are going to come back out on the floor. The final 4 minutes and 34 seconds of the Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage continue right now. And Steve Mastine with the ball for Quebec. Gagne racing for the ball. Will he pick it up before it goes out? He does, and he manages to call timeout. Over the line, so Montreal with possession. Le Tourneau over to Asselin, who Mastine, Le Tourneau collide. Simard is going to pick up that ball and score for Quebec. Anthony Le Tourneau gets hooked by Mastine, so he has to stop and dribble, pass the ball down the floor. No one's going to get to that. And that was one of the few unforced errors by Montreal today. We're going to get a couple substitutions for both sides. Lacoste and Gagne off. Arsenault and Bouchard in for Quebec. For Montreal, Melanie Lebel back into the match. And so another turnover for Quebec. Montreal gets the ball. 3:45 left to go. And Le Tourneau scores. Mastine, the long pass. Lassicote tried to get there before Simard, but he could not. And Quebec scored number 39. Le Tourneau passes over to Lassicote, who will take that ball and try to go around Arsenault, and he does. So Arsenault will score again for Quebec. And Quebec finally reached the 40 mark. Letourneau with the ball for Quebec. Bouchard and Mastin double teaming on defense. Lassicote for Montreal gets the ball, and he's going to race around for another point. 54 now for Montreal. Arsenault with the ball for Quebec, passes off to Mastin. 2:19 left to go. The score 54-41 in favor of Montreal. And it appears that there was a timeout called on the floor. And we are going to get a substitution for Montreal. Looks like Alexis Macias going to be making his way back into the match. .2:15 left in this competition. And once again, Montreal firmly in control. Yannick Lassicote for Montreal. Macias, who came into the match for Asselin. Letourneau with the ball over the line. 55-41. We are now under 2 minutes left to go. And again, I have to say, the Montreal rugby team did extremely well this week. I mean, absolutely dominating performances. The last match they played against New York was kind of close, but they came away with that victory. And here against the second best team in the tournament in Quebec, who dominated in their matches as well, they are absolutely crushing them right now. And it looks like we're going to get a technical foul on Guillaume Bouchard. Not quite sure what the call was, but he will go into the penalty area with 1:39 left to go in the match. 55-42 the score. Montreal looking to make it 56-42. Macias slammed into by Arsenault. Simard comes in to stop him, but Macias had pulled up anyway. They're looking to just run the clock down now. 1:19 left to go. No real need to score at this point. Macias just patiently waiting for his moment. Macias, the pass to Letourneau. And Letourneau almost pushed over the line, but he remains in bounds. 48 seconds left in the match. And Letourneau holds onto the ball. 36 seconds to go. Letourneau turns and scores. 56-42. Mastin now will take the ball. Simard takes it. 23 seconds left. 56-43 the score. And Montreal here can just afford to hold on to the ball at this point. They do need to get it over the center line, but they really don't need to score again. 15 seconds to go. And he was forced over the line by Simard, and you have to love and respect the fact as a competitor that despite the fact that they're not going to win this game, Quebec's still fighting hard out there. As Simard forces a turnover, and Bouchard now can send the ball in, and maybe Quebec can score one final point to end this match. 10 seconds to go. Also no, almost loses the ball, but he rolls towards the line. He spins around. 3 seconds left to go. Mastin pushing. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there is a point by Simard, and the match is over. That point is going to count. The referee has awarded the point, so we are going to end this match 56-44. Montreal with a huge victory. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you who have been with us throughout this weekend. It has been a wonderful experience and a pleasure to bring this competition to you. I want to thank everybody who has been a part of this production this weekend. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. And again, thanks to everybody who contributed to the ParaSportsLive GoFundMe campaign, because without all of you, this really would not be possible. So once again, thank you very much. We look forward to bringing more adaptive sports competitions to you in the future. But until next time, for ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson, and this has been the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Goodbye.